Hello, Orange Cat here, Sherlock Holmes Chapter 1 Case by Case series. I'm gonna do first all the, so far as possible, the main story cases until we're at the part where we can basically finish the game. So we're now at Chapter 2, A Gilden Cage. We explored Sherlock Manor. We got the start of two side cases. The one, the letter about the house auction and Sherlock's notebook, where he remembers that he walked around in Cordona. And now we're gonna make our way outside, so we can trigger the second case, which is called A Gilden Cage. Yeah, let's walk outside, because we're gonna do the main cases first, so that... Okay, I never noticed that, but it's actually pretty creepy. See the mirror distance? Never noticed that you see Sherlock walking around. The same with the starting screen. When you start the game, yeah, or at the one where it says the menu, the home screen, the Sherlock who lays there actually moves his eyes, same as the shadow playing violin also moves. I didn't notice the first time. Okay, let's go to the mansion, which is basically the building there in the distance with the yellow roof. And you see the hot air balloon, the striped one. That's literally like this manor here. Then you would automatically trigger the A Gilden Cage story. So yeah, we're gonna focus on the main cases, so then we have most of the clues for a modest love case. And I was showed it, and then up to now in all the parts, this is part 4 of the series. We've then done each time, so far as possible, a main case, some side cases, and progressing the main story. And wait, we finished that. Okay, did I forgot something? Ah, to go to the mine palace. Okay, so we have to go to the mine palace because otherwise it doesn't trigger the second main story quest. So let's enter the building. Enter Stone Manor. We have to go to the mine palace, so a modest love, which takes the whole game to complete. Imaginary friend, yeah, we know John is non-existent. Family friends. Microflight. Now the case book is updated, you can look for the friends.
Wasn't that neighbour missing a finger?
That does sound vaguely familiar. Wasn't his name, Theodore? Theodore Gilden, perhaps?
It's the perfect time to investigate.
Okay, so now we can trigger the second main case. So yeah, we actually have to solve the case book. That's okay. Let's go to that one. Down. We are mine palace. Okay, let's start. Because now you see the people and the gate is open, so we can continue this case. Also remember the daytime in the game changes automatically. So now it's bright during the day, and so there will be more people, and the darker it gets, the less.
That wretch Goliath would murder us all. Mark my words.
And now we got the quest, A Gilden Cage.
Destruction and trampled ground.
It's as if a storm went through here.
Ow. Huh. Okay. Can look around.
Hog heaven.
Let's examine everything.
A coal gas tank. Enough to pump up an airship. A sailor's knife useful for cutting wet and thick ropes. A sailor's knife useful for cutting wet and thick ropes. A sailor's knife useful for cutting wet and thick ropes.
Oh.
It's seen a lot of use. The blade is worn from grinding.
Then another.
Fresh signs of impact. A rough landing led to an altercation with this shed.
Okay, let's look at the victim, but really.
He was certainly under pressure.
Oof, a contortionist you were not.
The head.
Disjointed vertebrae. Difficult to say if it was a way to start or finish him off. A missing pinky. Middle-aged. It's none other than Theodore Gilded. A belt from a dressing gown. Curious. A kneecap reduced to splinters.
Oh boy, Sherlock. Another death means another question.
And we shall answer the question. It's far too interesting to give it up to the police.
Of course, gonna.
An amount of attention that most can only dream of. A royal suite for a favourite pet.
Plenty of food to satisfy even the most fastidious.
Chain.
A strong pull broke this leash.
Poke the elephant with this? Really? People are hopeless.
A pool of blood and saliva, possibly as a result of impact.
Sherlock, take a picture of the footprint. It's valuable evidence. This photograph can help us find the old article about the elephants. The front page was fascinating. It was hard to believe as a child.
True. We may need it in our investigation.
This is quite comfy.
Okay, we can think of what happened. We're gonna go later on to the archive. So we found all the clues as well as outside. Now reconstruct what happened.
In a fit of rage, the elephant broke the chain and threw its victim on the ground with a fierce power. Escaping the scene, it pulled the body with it, but dropped it at the gate. At least some of this was witnessed by a third party who was hurled against the shed. The elephant can't have gone too far. I can still track it.
Well, suppose you find it. Then what? Push it all the way back to the manor?
Okay, so let's do John challenge first. We have to go to the newspaper. Since we've been there, we have the fast travel point. Check the archives. There.
Stop the presses. Who is Cordona's handsome stranger? Or nosebagger spurns local life? Wait, no. Foppish foreigner hides dark past. Oh, you've made quite the impression already, Mr. Holmes. You care to tell your side of the story?
I'm quite certain I have no idea as to what you refer, and I am further certain I have no interest in indulging your gossip.
Gossip? The truth will come out, but will only be heard if told well. Scandal, daring-do, romance. These are the tools of every good journalist. Nothing travels faster or lasts longer than a great story. Young man, your tale will be told with or without you. My readers demand it.
You already knew my name and seem aware of my doings here in Cordona. I presume this newspaper is your little endeavour?
Yasmin Sertel, editor-in-chief of the Cordona Chronicle, advocate of the free press, voice of the people, scourge of the silk stocking.
Charmed, I'm sure. As an advocate of the free press, I trust you'll permit me to consult your archives? There are gaps in my knowledge of Cordona.
Oh, so my work does have merit. Well, I think we can strike a bargain. I shall provide you access, and you let me keep writing about your exploits.
So be it.
Brooding bachelor builds bridges. Now that's character development.
I guess I owe you my gratitude.
What can I say? I've always enjoyed working with the Holmes. They whisper such interesting things.
Let's go to the archive. Brown summer. Article. Maybe celebrities? No. We have front page stories stands in the blues. 10 years ago. Okay. So front page journalist and 10 years ago. The Lord of all beasts. Written by Dr. Ian Menches. Only a look few claim to have beheld the splendid strangest and most wonderful fellow, the elephant, said to be the land's largest animal, this colossal yet friendly creature enchants all with size, intelligence and communication. Elephants are mammals just like humans and originate in Asia and Africa. Despite feet that reach 18 to 25 inches in adult males, the elephant is surprisingly agile and in concert with its prehensile trunk and can perform feats of remarkable dexterity. Elephants form strong emotional bonds with their loved ones. Some scientists have even reported witnessing signs of grief or happiness. Perhaps the question is not how much elephants resemble us, but how much we resemble them.
That's the article. Feeling old already?
So we finished challenge, which added that document to the thing. So now we can go to the manor. The mansion of Theodore with its fast travel. Let's run. Then we're gonna follow the trails of Goliath to figure out where he walked to. So remember when you have to talk to people that you're wearing the same kind of clothing.
Oh, shut up.
Can I ask you a question?
That's a question I can answer.
So the elephant named Goliath crossed the Greek bridge in the direction of the forest where Theodore used it. Okay, so the Greek bridge is that. Oh yeah. We haven't unlocked the fast travel points of the bridges either. That's like here and here. Okay, but we get there when we need it. So let's look for it.
Oh, where's it?
Let's see. We have to find a trail.
Oh,
Let's head to the Greek bridge. Did I miss? Nothing yet. Over the Greek bridge. Ah. The first clue.
The elephant barged into this cart of olive oil.
What if we're lucky and he slipped and fell somewhere along the way?
That would be interesting. If an elephant fell, I'm gonna follow the trail. Where Goliath have walked. Walking at the moment. Here. So this is 3, as you can also read on screen. My gratitude to this island will grow just as history I give to you from the most responsible citizen in Cordona, T. Gilden. So probably Theodore Gilden. Let's follow the tracks. There's John.
So many jokes I could think of. Okay, hear me out. If an elephant falls in the forest and there's no one around to...
John, no.
Oh, you're such a killjoy.
Why did the elephant disappear? Did walk in the mirror? Yeah. There it is. So we're following the trail. Unfortunately, we can only walk in concentration mode. We cannot run.
Want to go for a swim?
So the elephant went into the water.
Strange. It was hung with care.
With ink-stained leather. Dear Theodore, Theodore, I'm writing to you as a fellow islander. I value friendship just as I value the lives of our people, although I am afraid this one-sided friendship cannot tie my hands any longer. I'm being made to look weak in the eyes of neighbors. They believe that your tree is a mockery and not a peace offering as you intended. The people are afraid you refuse to give your elephant a proper trainer, instead using your own limited knowledge to teach it. It is an impossible situation. I admit that I think of having the elephant forcibly taken, given to Mr. Taylor, who has shown that he is capable of looking after the elephant being, although she's female and far less frightening than your beast. Please reconsider the situation. Sir William Sinclair, Governor of Cordona. The keys in his pocket.
The game has escaped us for now. We'll find a solution to the elephant problem later.
Okay, so we can return to the home. Let's run the way back. So we were here, this area with the water. This is also an area which we will later enter as well, if I remember correctly. For a quest, I think. Yeah, for another case. But for now, it's not important. You can check it out, but nothing happens. Let's see. Run back to the manor. Let's see now. Let's do that. Wait a second. Yeah, we fast travel back towards the manor of Theodore Gilden. And let's explore more.
This young lady has a childish interest for her age. I can always recognize the spirit of a true artist.
Gosh, what a mansion.
You. Who are you?
My name is Sherlock Holmes. Theodore Gilden was...
Did you kill him? Did you kill the elephant?
It's not in the yard anymore. It escaped into the forest.
You can't let it go. What if it returns?
I highly doubt that, Miss...
Imogen Gilden. Please, I beg of you, find that dreadful beast that killed my father.
I suppose we do need to learn what happened. Can you tell me what happened? From the very start.
I was here, so I didn't see how it began. My father visits the enclosure every morning to wake up Goliath. Today, I heard the elephant scream. I've never heard such a horrifying sound. My heart stopped. I knew something was wrong. I looked through my window and saw how it lifted my father up by his neck. I rushed downstairs. I saw it dragging my father as if he were a doll. I threw stones at it. It dropped my father's body and charged outside, screaming. Its roar was almost human. I was frightened, so I ran inside and hid here.
That is a terrifying experience, Miss Gilden. I'm sorry you had to go through it.
Thank you. Goliath must be caught, Mr. Holmes.
Well, thank you for the information, Miss Gilden. I did have some questions for your father. Perhaps you might help me with them?
I wasn't privy to much of my father's life, and it's very hard to think of anything at all with Goliath still loose. Please, Mr. Holmes.
Very well. Do you mind if I ask you more questions if I find anything that might help?
Anything to catch that monster.
Miss Gilden, I was on this island 10 years ago, and your father knew my mother. I believe I even had the opportunity to ride that balloon outside, but I do not recall seeing you.
I lived at my late mother's in Sheffield at the time. I'm in no spirit to reminisce right now. The elephant is out there.
You've never heard the name Violet Holmes before? Perhaps your father...
Please, Mr. Holmes. With that beast roaming free, I can't think of anything.
Very well.
I'm afraid I can't add anything useful.
Had Goliath been aggressive before?
It's dangerous, but it was never aggressive near my father. My father would do anything for Goliath. All the elephant had to do was clap its ears.
You envied him, the elephant, I mean?
Our house is called the House of Ivory. I've heard some people refer to me as the Ivory Girl, and my room stinks of the animal, as if it's me who lives in a pen and not Goliath. It's not envy, Mr. Holmes. It's just incredibly difficult to live like this. I don't have any thoughts on this.
Did you observe anyone else in the yard? Any of your servants, perhaps?
Servants? Do you imagine that we would have any with Goliath? No one wishes to work in this house, even for double pay. I didn't see anyone else. Only my father and that diabolical beast.
Let's examine the room.
A commendable effort to barricade the windows.
Who's a cute bird?
Barracks.
She packed as much as she could carry. The same dull poses on all romantic photographs. So idyllic. Enjoy your happily ever after before it stales.
Hey, Sherry, we need to talk. You found false idols. We need to find the remaining two.
What does bazooka even mean? Would this paper be good for anything but blowing one's nose on?
They're not rubbish, Sherry. There's something more. I'm serious.
Very well. I doubt it'll be worth it, but I will find them for you, John.
You'll thank me later. They're some of the most imaginative books I've ever read.
What did you say?
Speaking aloud helps me think.
False idols. They are doing this quest. You will be able to find them all. That was unlock trophy when you found everything. Let's show some evidence.
How can you read something like this? It's hard to swallow, and that's not due to the hard cover.
You're hardly serious. Any library without Nabe and Laura is incomplete. If you can read, then these books are an absolute must. Love and adventure. They're about life.
Oh, I wasn't aware that exploding pyramids were a part of daily life on Cordona.
You haven't seen life, so you might try reading about it at least.
I found this. Who's this young lad next to you, your faithful knight?
Paul. He's my pirate. He's not really a pirate. I just call him that. It probably sounds very silly.
Your secret is safe in my hands. Does Paul work somewhere? What is his surname?
His name is Paul Perks. He and his yacht Whirlpool are the champions of the Salacia Yacht Club. He sails there. I'll show you where it is on the map if you need to meet him.
A yachting champion? Oh, well, that will be a first. I prefer dry land. And so does my suit. These bags of yours, it looks as if you've packed your entire room. Were you planning on going somewhere?
My partner and I, we wanted a change, a fresh start abroad. But now I have to stay here. Here, an orphan.
Let's explore the house. We can also enter this office. Theater.
The nicest spot in the room. Mr. Gilden spent hours of his life right here.
Looks eccentric and smells eccentric.
Quite the spectrum. From the history of the Roman Empire to conspiracy theories of the French Revolution. Mother. It's nice to see her young and smiling. from before Mycroft was born. Our family loves to prod at the past.
Holmes's desire to rake up the past is hereditary.
Elephants Man, Cordona, Chronicle 1875. A local wealthy resident, Theodore Gilden, 55, has purchased an Indian elephant from a traveling circus. Mr. Gilden commented, "It is a wonderful opportunity. There is no one on this island better suited to provide such a comfortable home for this elephant. It is a paradise for a noble creature. No longer will this animal be locked in a tent with clowns. He will be my companion from now on. My second child, I will protect him. Don't be jealous. People of Cordona, I am your best citizen. Only time will tell if this is a midsummer madness or not." The neighboring elite of Cordona are shocked to read the news and furthermore to hear the terrible trumpeting of the beast, but they are having to accept the eccentricity of one of Cordona's most powerful. Now we can all say that the riches of our island have troubles to bear too, same as the rest of us.
His second child? An apparent son and heir, I'd say.
The desk.
I think Miss Gilden has barely matured. Oh, the pungent stench of an animal.
Did Theodore seek some pink elephants with this?
A relatively functional choice to replace the finger.
Another picture.
I think they were closer than you and me, John.
I'm hurt.
Okay, let's head to examine everything. No, the desk.
A catchy title. What's so special about this place? Another elephant? A partnership annulled with a single stroke of a pen. I should take a photograph of the plans. I don't want to carry them around.
So when you see the symbol of the photograph, take a picture and keep trying until the symbol disappears. Then it means you have yes, now we got it. Because then you have taken the correct picture. And this is the game will know it as well. Okay, we can ask her some more questions. Talk to Imogen again. Evidence.
A. Swift, is this name familiar to you? Your father had it removed from this plan.
Oh, that's Arthur Swift. I've seen him a couple of times here. He works with my father in the old city, digging up something ancient.
He is an archaeologist?
That's the word, yes. But to be truthful, I really don't think Mr. Swift is fit to be one. I've just learnt a lot about archaeology from my favourite book series. Oh, they are page-turners.
Inspirational, I'm sure, but would you happen to know where this Mr. Swift might be found?
I don't, but perhaps you can find out somewhere. My father's work with him is all official. Lots of boring legal papers with signatures and stuff.
And, which part of the elephant is in here? It's quite pungent.
Oh, that. It's elephant sweat. Father believed that it might replace traditional ambergris.
Well, that's true entrepreneur spirit.
So now we can look for the Swift guy and the partner boyfriend. start with a boyfriend. I thought I checked every clue. Yeah.
Didn't we get to fly in it as children? I doubt it could hold my weight today.
Oh, why do I get the worst jobs?
Okay, now anyway we found the key evidence. That's enough because we cannot do much else.
Hog heaven.
Yeah, let's go to the boat club, which is here. They have been doing some running around, so we got all the major fast travel points. And I triggered one other side quest, but we still haven't officially started it, so I can still do it. So let's go to the Yacht club. This fast travel point, sorry, is already one on the map as well, because here is Il Plazo de Luzon, the hotel which you will be staying. So that heads to the Yacht club, and also talk to people if we can to get information.
Excuse me, just one question.
Oh no,
I'm glad to see such civic consciousness, but I've never heard of that.
yeah, I'm mistaken. You have to find someone else. Let's see. Not there.
Can you satisfy my curiosity?
That's a question I can answer.
The photo of Imogen, the yacht club members mentioned that Paul missed the race and no one has seen him since this morning. He might be in his room in the workshop, south of the yacht. So let's go there. And here it is. Now we don't have to talk further. A list with rules. Let's examine. Boats. And jump. Swimming.
The champion's whirlpool pulls bread and butter.
Yeah. This here.
A foghorn to navigate and warn others at sea.
You should have a warning to cover your ears. We can become pirates and show them what should be stored in here.
Another book. Also for the trophy you have to find all 3 books. This one is in the storage room.
Sails of hatred. I suppose there is something for everyone, including champions.
Who knew archaeology could be so exciting?
Exciting is certainly a word.
Another one of the books. Which there are 3 of. And the third one we'll find when we are finding the Swift guy.
Bloodied bandages. Has someone been hurt?
Let's see.
Where would a champion hide a key?
I hope Paul is more skilled at yachting than he is at hiding keys.
Maybe. Let's check it out.
Bloodied bandages.
The desk.
To earn big, you have to spend big.
A letter. Threats in envelope. You goblins killing Wetfoot. You think you can leech off my family, steal my money, exploit my daughter? This ends today. Your careers are over. I shall give you one final warning. If you refuse to cooperate, you'll find yourself in deep water. Gilden.
Mr. Gilden wasn't afraid to get his hands dirty.
Another letter.
Additional earnings to sweeten the victory. An interesting place for a message to a champion.
Small.
Old betting slips. Paul always bets on Whirlpool. One victory after another.
Other side of the room.
Too ordinary a room for a champion. There's no incentive to put in any effort.
A box full of darts. Each has a needle and can be loaded with drugs. An expensive set of tools for woodwork. An amateur wouldn't know how to use these. Shipbuilding, shipwright's tricks, sail weaving.
Okay, the case. Back into the storage.
Undeniably psychotropes. Not for toothache, I think. A typical tea tin. I wonder what he has for biscuits.
Okay, let's exit.
Oi! Hands off my possessions before you lose your fingers. Are you illiterate? The rules are written everywhere.
Ah, Mr. Perks, the cabin boy himself.
Champion, you mean? I was right. You are illiterate. I think a couple of shiners might teach you. One last chance. Who are you?
I am a friend of Theodore Gilden. My name is Sherlock Holmes. I need a few words from you about...
Get out of here. I'm not joking. Leave this place before you have cause to regret it. I will use force.
Do the police still throw people in prison for smuggling? Oh yes, with you helpless and handcuffed, I'd learn a few more secrets. We don't need to compete with our egos now, surely.
Oh no. I'd rather you tell me something more, so that I might have more reasons to punch you out.
So let's observe. Face. The hands. Clothing. And the elbow. So you have a professional smuggler. Or professional yachts woman. Character portrait, ballparks.
I'm impressed by how well a woman can handle a yacht and endure so many hardships on the open sea. The revelation of your nature could well humiliate so many rich men here, not to mention how you have broken the rules. But I understand. You've done this to forge a real career in the sport. But tell me something. Has no one asked you why you don't grow a beard?
Shh! Have you been following me? You better not be wanting to end my career, because I swear you'll regret it if I get outed.
Damn you, Paul. I'm sick of... Who's this peacock? Does he know who I am?
I definitely know who you are not. You're not a dictionary reader, at least. I wanted to see how you, pals, interact with each other in your natural habitat.
I'm coming for you. I'm coming. Take this!
Too simple.
The snuff's ready.
Don't bother moving. You've lost.
But oh, there. Oh my god, distance.
He's all yours now. Go for it.
I'm coming.
No more crime.
Give him the pepper snuff. Time.
Oh my god.
Don't bother moving. You've lost.
What the?
The snuff's ready.
Oh my god. Hold on, wait. Oh my god.
He's on.
Do we need to get
I'm coming.
God damn.
No more crime for you.
Give him the pepper snuff.
Take a rest, my friend.
And we're done. Luckily.
And there's no reward for risking our lives.
Paul's explanation will suffice.
Let's talk with him.
Your fellow mariners have a strange way of showing hospitality.
They were not my friends.
Are you sure? I would rather risk my neck for someone who's at least honest and thankful.
Perhaps then don't enter someone's life and be so judgmental, pretending you're better than they are.
Then give me your perspective and allow me to see through your eyes. I tried to tell you before, but your partners interrupted. Have you heard the news? Theodore Gilden is dead. Do you have anything to say?
Well, what a shock. To me, he was an angry old ogre. Good riddance. Was it Goliath that killed him? Did it crush him? Break his bones? Come on, tell me. I want all the details.
You have an unusual way of showing grief. Imogen wouldn't appreciate that. But yes, the animal could have been involved.
It's poetic in a way, isn't it? It takes a beast to kill a monster. I wish I could have been that elephant.
What were you doing this morning, Miss Perks?
Don't call me that. I'm a champion. I was sailing.
The other club members told me that you missed the race this morning. Do champions not need to practice?
Ugh, you've talked with them already. No, I wasn't racing. I visited the doctor after that attack on me. And then I had to honor the deal with the bandits you just took care of.
This business of yours, you should be more careful. Ruining your life at such a young age is ridiculous.
I am careful. Except for you, no one has noticed where I store the smuggled goods. If the police arrive, there's no link to me. It's common storage, not exclusively mine.
Okay, show evidence.
I'm clueless. I don't know what this means. I don't know what this means.
A. Swift. Are you familiar with this name? The gentleman had business with Mr. Gilden.
Likely just another strange and wrinkled fellow like old Gilden was. Perhaps this Swift person has a rhino, and they wanted to see which pet was stronger. In other words, I don't know who he is, but I bet he's crazy like Theodore.
I doubt that Cordona has ever boasted a battle arena for that size of mammal. You have an interesting imagination. Imogen doesn't strike me as an industrious young lady, so I find it strange that she was busy packing up all her belongings when Mr. Gilden died. That's some favourable wind in your sails, isn't it?
Is it so suspicious that a couple might embark on a trip? I wanted to thank her, so we planned to go travelling. A Theodore-free place, without elephants.
The timing of it is suspicious, however. Your lady friend becomes an orphan and heir, and there's a planned trip directly afterwards.
An improvised romantic dinner will never please a spoilt girl. A planned voyage might. It's not spur of the moment.
Does this knife seem familiar? I didn't find it in your competitor's back, to be clear.
This knife is as blunt as your humour. It's a bosun's knife, but it's not mine. I wouldn't be so careless as to mislay my tools. I don't know what you're suggesting. I don't know what you're suggesting.
Between yachts, darts, and notes from bandits, I've discovered many fascinating facts about you. But this, an installment of Nabe and Laura's adventures. Why did you sully your library with this?
It's a gift from Imogen. I didn't buy it. I might have turned a couple of pages, but nothing more. I swear.
I will give you the benefit of the doubt, but your literary taste has put you on my blacklist. You smuggle illicit psychotropes on your yacht. Not a delivery for the hospital, I'm sure.
Of course not. I've had to cut corners to earn some money. How might a person afford to pay for a yacht in an honest way? I don't know, although I'm smart. The buyers are my customers. Adults who are willing to pay for their pleasure, or weapons for jewels. Whatever they want me to deliver. Nothing criminal.
Well, it's your lucky day. I'm not here because of smuggling. Have you tasted this tea yourself?
I wouldn't have been a champion if I had used it. It's just a side business that keeps my career afloat. It's quite expensive to compete in yachting. Sometimes I cut corners.
Such as fixing whirlpool yourself?
Exactly. And sometimes I just have to pay. That's how I earn money. I don't sell slaves or take the last mangear from a poor family.
A charming picture. I've heard that champions do often pose with their trophies.
Cheeky. It is a lovely trophy, though. I'm sure you will agree.
What is it that you like most about her? Her naivety? Her father's money?
A somewhat difficult choice. Especially now that her father is out of the equation.
Look what I found. A box full of darts.
Hey, that's mine.
I confiscated it. These darts appear to be filled with something. Poison? How powerful is it?
It's strychnine. Enough to instantly kill a small rodent. I haven't tried it on a human. Yet. I hope you know what you're doing.
Could it immobilize a larger animal? Say, an elephant?
I've never tried, but I have wondered.
It seems as though Theodore Gilden hung a sword of Damocles over your life and career. Were these only words, or something more serious?
Check my forearm. Pulled muscles and bruises. Small cuts. Nothing that you could call serious.
I doubt that a man in his late 50s could wrestle you.
It wasn't him. He behaved like a rat and hired brutes. His boys tried to lock my hands behind my back, but I was faster and I escaped.
Was he so protective of his daughter, or was it your feminine secret that provoked him?
My guess is that he was protecting his property. As he saw it, he owned Imogen, and he treated her like a piece of furniture. He didn't want his daughter to be loved by anyone. What's more painful is that Theodore didn't allow me to love his daughter. Typical.
I'm not sure that your relationship with Imogen could be described as typical.
Are you afraid of a woman in trousers? Now that's typical of men. I'm clueless.
What can you tell me about the elephant?
He's smarter than some people here, including his owner. Although I feel he could be dangerous, no matter how much he's fed.
Why is that? Have you ever seen Goliath attack anyone?
Well, not exactly. But I saw it, abusing some poor tree during one of its walks with Theodore. The expression on that old Nini's face was priceless. But it wasn't funny to look at. Believe me, it was frightening.
So we now can look for the other person, but we can also show the same thing also at Imogen. As well to get some clues. It doesn't really matter if you go to her or not, but you can get some insight.
I'm afraid I can't add anything useful.
Are you aware that Paul smuggles drugs for a dangerous gang?
Mr. Holmes, I've already told you. I call him a pirate in play. He's not an actual pirate. He's a champion and a brave gentleman, not a thug.
Let us agree to disagree on that. But don't be surprised if one of his clients knocks on your door.
I don't have any thoughts on this. I've nothing to say about this.
Have you seen what your father sent to Paul?
This is despicable. My father was never a gentleman, but this crosses the line. I knew that father wasn't fond of Paul, but this is just awful. If only he could have seen how good Paulie is to me.
More stuff updated. So let's look for a Swift guy. So you already know it's an archaeologist. Yeah, let's go to the city hall. So yeah, I have been traveling, so we got some most fast travel points, which makes solving the main cases first a bit easier. Yeah, city.
Are you lost, sir?
Not at all. I'm right where I need to be. I'm Sherlock Holmes, by the way.
Ursula Oni, the chief archivist. How can I help you exactly?
I need to take a look at the history of Cordona and its islanders to retrieve some, hopefully, useful information.
Your brother Mycroft told me that you were direct, and now that we've met, I can see that is true.
Someone in our family has to balance the evasive nature of my brother. Well, may I use the city archives?
You may, of course, but in return, perhaps dinner?
That's a high price to pay for looking at your archives.
I was teasing you. Pay no attention to me.
District, city, registry, legal documents, business. There's a registration of Gilden Swift Limited. Notice of registration, and by the authority of the government of Cordona, this deed registers the creation of Gilden Swift Limited on this the 21st of June 1877. Theodore Gilden is the sole proprietor and founder of the above enterprises. Shall provide finances and the land known as the Roman outskirts. Arthur Swift is a founding partner and shall provide finance and his services as archaeologist. The primary purpose of the enterprise is to perform archaeological research in the ruins located at the intersection of Bazaar Road and Arnold Street beyond the fortification walls in Old City, Cordona. The sole proprietor undersigned hereby agrees to fund archaeological research in exchange for ownership of any uncovered items of historical value. The founding partner undersigned hereby waives all finance rights and ownership of items uncovered in the archaeological dig in exchange for the exclusive rights to publication of all academic findings thereof. Signed, Mr. Theodore Gilden and Mr. Arthur Swift.
With your love for archives, you would have made the perfect bureaucrat.
Let's go to that place in the city. Like mentioned before, I walked around a bit, so it's a bit quicker to get there, and we have to go to this area. Because there is the... There is it. Let's see. Yeah, to the side. Let's see. I cannot see because they're in the way. Also need to pay attention in case we trigger. Oh no, we can get here without triggering that. That's a good thing. You should be a fast travel. Yeah. Okay, you have to go to this area. Entirely the direction. Let's see. Straight around. Then we have to go further straight forward. Because we need to find... Oh wait, that hunt is also trigger place. That will trigger another...
From day to night, Aiden stands there, recruiting non-rebellious workers for the dig.
So we have to listen to them. Find the clues. Old City Marketplace. Next car. Robe British. Entrance to the dig site. I've heard in order to enter the dig site I need to be employed. A man named Aiden recruits new workers in Old City Marketplace in the west end of the district. He has a scar on his neck and only looks for worker types with a pro British attitude. So we're gonna have to travel, change disguise. So yeah, we have to go to the Old City Market. So it can also be the first time you change or buy some clothing that's here. So it did some precise walking around. So yeah, let's first change clothing.
Nice of all. Let's pick something that suits you.
Okay, so the one with the circle, the yellow one, that is clothing you can rent. But yeah, I'm just gonna buy it. Because the worker's apron is definitely something you be able to use more times. Criminal chic, only a few times, so you don't really need it. For the marine uniform, you can either get that one or this one, the sailor uniform. But yeah, as you can see, either one is fine, same as the vagabond, right? So the one with the circle you can rent. So if you want to save your managers for that quest to fill up Sherlock Holmes, then make sure don't purchase anything unless it's utterly needed. But otherwise just ignore the majority of them. Because some of it you will get automatically. So the one with the yellow circles means that those are the items you can rent. The rest you cannot. So you don't have to buy anything.
A good choice.
Oh.
A good.
That's not the outfit we wanted to wear. We have to wear the worker's apron. The bruises doesn't need it. Wait, we have to, yeah. And don't have to. Headgear is not needed.
Choice indeed.
Okay.
Come, decorate your house.
The guy we need to look for is this one. If you're worried, just use concentration mode. It says scar on his neck. That's the one we're looking for.
Sir, kind sir, might I steal your attention?
I am not buying.
Ah, that is the thing. You won't waste a single mangir. I am a digger, you see, and I have heard of a dig site so deep it clogs your ears. I want to be there.
Why are you telling me this?
I have heard of a man recruiting for such a dig. A man with a scar, such as the one that you're hiding. And your boots are dirty with the deep clay I am so familiar with. Oh, I hope it wasn't too rude of me to point that out.
You have a good eye. And you just want to dig? Dig deep and that's it? What's the catch? Are you in desperate need of money?
Oh, there is no catch, sir. I won't even ask for advance pay. Just give me a shovel and I'll dig a hole like you've never seen.
Huh. Is that so? Well, I have to ask you an important question first. Would you be fine working for Brits?
I am all for them.
Well, you say that, but can you prove it?
I'll sing you a very special song. God save our gracious queen.
Cut it! Or people here will make you their queen.
I can also speak in limericks.
Please don't. You might be a little bit weak in the head, but a natural-born digger with a keen eye is what we need. Take this permission slip and go to this address. The guard will let you in and check with the professor once you're there.
Okay, so we got entrance to the dig site, so we can go back. So we have to go back to that. Wait, no. This direction. Yes. Oh. Okay, we have to do the other way because if we got too close to that statue, it will trigger a side quest, which I not will be doing right now.
Nasılsın?
Stop loitering and get inside.
Before we can look around, we have to go to the professor.
Newcomer, talk to the professor first. He's the old fellow with the glasses and the plans.
Where's the fire in your eyes? Where's the smile? I am sick and tired of seeing apathy among the new workers.
Sir, believe me, I do have the spark. I want to start work straight away. It's as important to me as it is to you.
Ah, that's the spirit. I'm on the verge of a great discovery.
When was the last time you saw...
Young man, you're disappointing me. I'd like to see a bright career for you as the best digger on the island. Don't ruin it. We'll talk when you find something useful.
How did you meet me?
Don't ask questions. You'll have...
I am ready to work.
Splendid. Do you know what I am working on?
Archaeological treasure. You're hoping to find something priceless, something that will change our history.
Bravo, young man. I couldn't have said it better myself. It's true. We're looking for Vitus Lemonius's tomb.
I'll help you. That is my goal as a worker.
Good. Listen to me carefully, then. I hate repeating myself. I am Professor Swift. We have 3 rules here. Don't touch anything. Always return the tools, and don't distract me unless you find something.
Sounds simple enough. Are you the only one in charge here, Mr. Swift?
Yes, I am the only one, and no one else. You hear anything other than that, it's a lie. People of your kind can have difficulty understanding who's in charge. Take a minute, memorize my face, and then get to work.
Oh, I will definitely take a closer look to memorize my superior.
The face, his hand, his other hand, his arm or elbow, and his brow bands. Either a money grubber or knowledge seeker. Character portrait Arthur Swift.
I wish I could be as passionate about something as you are, Mr. Swift. You value knowledge and dedication over everything else.
It's a long road, young man. A sharp eye and attention to detail are the only stepping stones along this path. You have to sacrifice everything you love for the larger prize.
Exactly. So much in life is superficial. I wish more people would understand.
I never heard a truer word, lad. Folk will ignore what truly matters in life, and for what? Convenience.
Bold words indeed. I doubt that many scientists would be willing to support their bragging with fieldwork.
The academic world is full of restrictions. Our honourable professors are too afraid to dirty their hands. God forbid if they have a stain on their shirt. You can follow in my footsteps. You can start learning by returning to work. Show me what you can find.
Okay, we can now examine everything. Okay, let's look around.
Straw dolls. Eerie, but effective for a scene recreation.
Oh, I want one of these. Or 2.
Titus and Peter's conquest. Says about mystery.
Oilcloth. Won't fade and waterproof. Enough here to make 10 sails and more.
Let's see.
Let me warm my bones here.
This reminds me of my father's room. A plan for this whole operation.
Dieter's Lemonious tomb has been found.
This might prove useful. I'll note it down.
So now we can look around. Side of these tents, you can pick up the third book, then you will have completed all of them to get the trophy.
Sharpest pickaxe. A guilty pleasure of the real archaeologist. Missing your Laura, Mr. Swift?
Hey, a word about the trilogy.
Right then, you literary expert, what was so important about these books? Or did you simply need some kindling?
It's inspirational. I have a plan. Are you listening?
I wish I wasn't, but I am.
So, we catch a monkey, a langur, for example, then we extract some blood from it. What?
Why?
It will make us forever young, Sherry. Page 127, the second book.
Oh, I am so done with this.
No, wait. Then how about we make a wax statue?
I've stopped listening, John.
Completed. The third book in the trilogy. So now we can explore the dig side.
Somehow the text remains legible. Let's see if I remember my Latin.
Investigating the ruins, an inscription near the four pedestal translates to Vitus rest nearby. Beware, the one who wishes to disturb his sleep, for he is guarded by the cases of a brother and the autumn winds.
A sickle for harvesting. The ancient Romans honoured the seasons. A goddess? A mother? Someone's wife? There were 4 statues here originally.
I wonder what the 3 other statues look like. Quite daunting to see how deep the dig is.
Swift lost his temper when he learned what happened to the statue.
Gilded pedestal closest to the beach. Iron helmet. Kicked statue. Arthur Swift's research. Workers at the dig site found a statue with a lion helmet head. It originally lay on the pedestal closest to the beach, but someone kicked it over the edge. As a result, the statue broke and the pedestal remains tilted.
I see now. Mr. Swift didn't realize the significance of the statues.
So now we can recreate the scenes. Everyone. How the statue originally stand. Let's see. So that's the one with the sickle, this with a lion head, shield, and something with a plant.
It seems everything's in place. Now, let's see what this has to tell us.
Let's explore the beach.
Working and living by the sea. What a dream.
Sherlock Holmes faint in water. So don't walk into the water at all.
Here is your discovery, Mr. Swift. Hey, look at this.
What have you found? Don't let anyone touch anything there. Eureka! I found you, my friend.
Okay, so now he's distracted. And because of that, we can examine the table he was standing before.
A box of darts. Handy against rodents of all kinds.
Dusk and Drunks. Zoological bestseller Dusk and Drunks provides a most rigorous scientific description of the elephant. It is almost encyclopedic in its analysis of the creature's life, both in the wild and captivity. One crucial chapter describes the elephant's mating season, in which they become extremely dangerous. Furthermore, the book requires guidance on how to communicate and interact with a big mammal. The letter notebook, a personal diary owned by Arthur Swift, is described in considerable detail. His personal life research, more importantly, tells of the dispute between the archaeologist and Theodore Gilden over the dig site. Day 1224, the Theodore always uses his wealth to shut down the complaints. I'd rather be bottom brain with more clarification, so that he were smart enough to see the bigger picture. Not everything resolves around your darn elephant. I have only a few months before he will commence construction. He even lacks the imagination to build something beautiful. Ivory ball. The modernity. I must think less our available history be buried by the inconsequential.
Hey, what do you think you're doing? Trying to take over my research, are you? I come here to pick up my diary, and I find you snooping around. Explain yourself.
Mr. Swift, if that were true, I would have been on my way to the newspaper. My name is Sherlock Holmes. I didn't have a chance to introduce myself properly.
Outrageous! You deceived me, sir. What is the reason for your being here? Who sent you, Mr. Holmes?
Theodore Gilden's premature death brought me here.
Theodore is dead? How can that be possible?
I'm thinking of all the possibilities, and I'm not crossing out anyone who might have been involved. Even his elephant. The land you're excavating belongs to Mr. Gilden, does it not?
Did I hear an accusation? I have nothing to hide. You can ask me whatever nonsense you've prepared as a token of my diminishing respect towards you.
Very well, Mr. Swift. I appreciate your cooperation. Were you at the site this morning?
Affirmative. This project is taking a lot of my time, as you see. I spend more time underground than on the surface.
When did you learn about Theodore's death?
Just now. You just told me.
And you aren't surprised, shocked? I won't tell anyone if you shed a tear or two. Weren't you partners, after all?
We were. And it is a real shame. But I've seen too many deaths in my life, Mr. Holmes, for the news to truly shake me.
When was the last time you saw Mr. Gilden?
A couple of days ago. We discussed the site. I believe in the tomb and its secrets. Theodore's patience was stretched, however. He was already inventing new projects. It wasn't a long conversation. I suppose that his daughter will inherit everything now, along with all of the eccentricities and problems.
And not forgetting Goliath.
Eccentricities and problems, Mr. Holmes. One of many. Will you allow me to return to my research, or are you insisting on remaining an obstacle?
Oh, I haven't even started yet. You have a weakness for nostalgia. Or, rather, do you use it to record a list of enemies?
Young man, you need to check your moral compass. Reading another person's diary is a sin in every culture that I can think of.
But you aren't answering the question.
You've already read it. Why bother? I simply record my life to keep my memory clean from misinterpretation. Letters and pages don't lie.
But the writer of the text can. With this book, you attempted to plan an attack on the elephant?
Your insinuations are out of place. Goliath is a frightening animal. All I wished to do was to understand the creature. As any scientist would do, I researched, analyzed, and drew conclusions.
And what conclusion did you draw?
That Theodore Gilden made the animal miserable. He couldn't provide the proper environment for the beast. My interest in the subject ended there.
What's with this box of darts? Is it for a scientific argument?
A little darker than that. Rather for killing the kind of rodents that might nibble a nose or a toe in your sleep.
Let's just say I have to protect myself against a larger animal, such as an elephant. Might it be enough to stop it, make it faint?
If I were you, I wouldn't bank on it. Moving on.
What's with this intricate recruitment process? Pro-British workers charge less?
As a head of this organization, I need to secure a productive environment. It's impossible to do so if there are political differences, especially here, where the native population doesn't support our efforts to find the ancient artifacts.
Decent pay can also stimulate productivity and shut down any political discord. Hadn't you thought of that?
You're young. You have time to fritter and fight with everyone you meet. I don't have such a luxury. Our workers receive enough pay for what they do. So don't start a discussion you know nothing about. I've nothing to add.
As far as I can tell, you're a man of the academic world, so this book about Nabe and Laura is just an empirical study?
What? That nonsense? I'd prefer to lose my eyesight than read such trash.
So you know nothing about it?
I know nothing. I wish I'd never heard of it in the first place. This caricature of science.
Do I hear traces of envy? You're still relatively young that you might find your own, Laura.
Perhaps I envy Nabe, for I cannot simply blow people up for distracting me. That's all. You happy now? Wonderful. Moving on. I've nothing to add. I've nothing to add.
Your partner had a very specific attitude towards the things he treasured. Was this habitual for him?
That would have been too much even for him. Don't get me wrong, he had a harsh temper. Like a true businessman, he was ready to burn his competitors to the ground.
But threatening someone physically would have been something new even for him, am I correct?
Absolutely. Besides, I had never seen him this angry. The fellow who received the letter must have been extremely alarmed. I've nothing to add. I've nothing to add.
Gilden's elephant is quite an unusual addition to Cordona's fauna. What is your scientific opinion on that?
No matter how much Theodore loved it, it still remained a wild animal trapped inside a stone pen. Goliath needs savannas, fields, lakes.
I'm sure that Goliath did not have a plan to kill his owner to head to the savannas. What do you think?
No, animals don't kill in a typical sense. I can only presume that it tried to protect itself from captivity, from Theodore. It was a gilded cage that was predestined to break. I'm a busy man. I'm a busy man. I'm a busy man. Moving on.
Have you seen this person before? The one beside Imogen Gilden?
No, but he's with Imogen, so I suppose that he's a friend of hers. That girl always has her head in the clouds. I could have said Theodore was different, but that wouldn't have been entirely true.
Away with the fairies, was he?
That's one way of putting it. Either way, I don't know much about Imogen's life or her friends. The type of elite that pretends to be educated.
Remember one of the rules? It seems that you didn't return a tool. Is this knife yours?
Do I look like a fellow who carries a knife? I don't need it.
There are plenty of uses for it on the site, and outside of it.
I have other people to cut ropes for me, Mr. Holmes. I'm a busy man. I've nothing to add.
Did this plan cause a rift in your business relationship with Theodore Gilden?
Nothing like that. Admittedly, we didn't share a common vision of what is more important, the past or the future. In my opinion, we can't build a future without knowing the past.
So you wanted to save the tomb of Vitus here, or perhaps your control over the research?
Only the knowledge that rightly belongs to humankind, nothing less and nothing more.
Goliath, so I can use them. So yeah, all chemical analyses in the game, they change every time, they're never the same. And so you cannot really follow that any walkthrough as a guide, because it will change. So the difficult level as well. So yeah, you can skip it always with L3. Okay, now we can go find Goliath. You need some stuff, for example. We're stuck.
This fabric will work.
Fabric, and we need to go. photos to retrieve items to get Goliath back. Let's go to the boat house. Boat house, because there we can find also an item to get Goliath back. So we're almost at the end. Almost. Let's run. Run a bit faster.
It might fool an elephant.
Mrs. Nini seemed to know her sewing inside out. I bet she missed us.
I hope Miss Nini won't misunderstand me.
So we're gonna go back to Mrs. Nini's atelier. That was near the police station. So that was here. So we're gonna first do all the...
He's even been putting up posters.
The main cases before unlocking any. Here we are, Mrs.
Good day, madam. I've come to you with a special requirement. The tailors on the street can't help me, I'm afraid. Could you make a doll for me?
Oh, Signor Holmes. You taught the police how to do their job, and they found the thief. Of course I will help you. But what sort of doll? A child's doll, such as my great niece might play with?
A little larger than your typical doll.
Signore, I don't understand. Boy, girl, animal, and what color?
Animal, a passionate, perhaps amorous animal.
Ah, Signore, you talk in riddles. I am an old lady who's seen it all. Tell me what you need.
I need a life-size elephant.
I think Mrs. Nini outdid herself with this one. Is that a tail?
That's a trunk, John, but I must agree with you that it's her masterpiece.
Well, let's not waste any time.
Okay, let's go find Goliath. So I have to go return to the Greek bridge, because that's where he went when he got lost. Run, Shogo. Run. And there is the bridge. Wait. Yeah. We have to fill the elephant with air. So we're gonna use the gas tanks that were in here in the
Destruction and trampled ground.
here.
The game.
So, what's the plan? I hope it all doesn't go horribly wrong.
We know that the elephant is seeking a female. We can arrange that. A doll with the appropriate scent might do miracles.
So you're a marriage broker. Well, I suppose that makes me a groomsman. Oh, she is a bit breezy, I must say.
Well, Goliath is eager for a single female elephant in his area. It should be just enough for his taste. You'll need to trust me.
So let's fish.
Are we ready? I can't stand the tension.
Yeah.
We're ready. Let's call the elephant.
Okay. Just have to play everything.
How could anyone resist? I knew a lady once who said just that. Too bad I'm not an elephant. Take your time, Sherry. That deserves a slap. And then a kiss.
And here's our lovesick friend.
Yes, a male elephant.
What is the meaning of this? Why are you bringing it here? I won't allow you to leave it.
I assure you that it is only a temporary measure. It won't be long until the elephant is gone, I promise you.
She's really stuck up. So we found Goliath, so we can examine him. See what's going on. What happened to him?
It injured itself while running through the forest. The left tusk is larger and more worn. You're a left-tusked elephant.
Then we have to tiny dart.
There's something in the needle. A feathered fletching. This might be promising.
And look at his eye.
Peaceful and compliant, almost a gentleman.
Okay. So we found the clues. We can do a chemical analysis, which you can skip. We can skip it. Wait, we need to get 5 out of it. Okay, I'm ready. Okay, so we found traces and now we can clean it. So Theodore. Wait. Let's see. Ah. Push dot. So body. We have either Goliath killed Theodore 2 times and the other one he might have been provoked. Paul did it. Arrest him and free Goliath. Or this Arthur did it. So yeah. Let's save. Let's go towards those people. Let's save the game and I'll show you all the endings and the end. I'm not sure which ending shall we go. Do you think a human was in question. I don't think that Imogen did it, but I'm not sure since you only see one particular point of the story. So let's go back to the dig site, save the game, and I will show you. I will show you all the different endings, which will take some time. Because you have Goliath only, because it's mating season, then Swift did it or Paul did it. And then each one you have the option to have either Goliath killed or saved, but if you save Goliath, you will get unlock a trophy for not getting him killed. Let's go to the dig site. So we can first accuse. Oh, a Swift. Then we're gonna go to.
Stop shirking. Get dressed properly and come inside.
You have to change clothes before we can enter. Okay. This one. Now we can enter.
Stop, Lloyd.
So you have total 6 different ends and 3 culprits. It's either Goliath went rapid because of a human, and otherwise it was only himself because it was mating season. Okay, now save. So let's show first all the endings with Swift. So let's accuse him.
You are guilty, Mr. Swift. Killing Theodore Gilden was a testing challenge. You succeeded.
What makes you think I'm somehow involved in Gilden's death? My partner's death, I might remind you.
Okay.
You were there when Theodore Gilden died.
Nonsense. I visited him many times, but I wasn't there when the elephant killed him.
Then I must have made a mistake, because the murderer met Goliath's rage personally. The perpetrator was hit by the gate and thrown into the shed. Your bruise matches the contour of the broken hole. One further detail is that the murderer had a bosun's knife, fairly useful in a place where one might cut ropes and fabric, such as, I don't know, the dig site?
That's your interpretation of the facts, Mr. Holmes. You've simply aligned them to suit your hypothesis.
It's not a hypothesis once proven, it's theory, Mr. Swift. Your dart uses strychnine to kill rodents at the site, is that correct?
Well, yes, that is its purpose.
The same dart with strychnine was found on Goliath. The very same substance is a powerful stimulant. It causes convulsions, a flow of energy. You shot Goliath. The elephant became extremely energetic, agitated, and so terrified that it killed its owner. For a man of your age, it was easier to hit a larger grey target than a small man.
You said it yourself. Goliath killed Theodore, and your strychnine speculations are absurd. Only athletes use it as a stimulant, not elephants.
True, but one dart of strychnine would not be enough to kill the elephant, and you knew it. Let me tell you a story. A man spends almost 5 years of his life locating an artifact. He puts every ounce of energy and money into his research. The same man even goes so far as to sign a contract with a ruthless man, a businessman. It was a risk, but the reward would be worth it. Years go by, and there's still no result, so the businessman decides to end the man's research. He spits on the research, he promises to bury the site under an eccentric project. All of this is just his whim. Theodore Gilden could do anything he wanted with this place, and you were anxious about the fate of your research. You wished to protect it. You tried to tame Gilden's eccentricity, but you killed him instead.
Theodore wasn't trying to sabotage my career. We had a disagreement, but it wasn't as dire as you describe it. He wasn't a pleasure to talk to, but killing him? Nonsense.
Okay, let's first arrest Arthur and free Goliath.
Theodore Gilden was a capricious man, extremely impulsive. But the cold-blooded nature of your plan makes you even more dangerous. You feel nothing. You show no remorse. It was simply a calculated move. And that is why you are under arrest.
Nothing. You have nothing on me.
I think I'll let the police decide if my findings are substantial enough for prosecution.
This is all a dreadful mistake. This can't be happening. The elephant killed Theodore.
Goliath is innocent and he should be free. He is not the real murderer here. That is the apex of your career, Mr. Swift. Farewell.
I told you Mr. Swift was not a real archaeologist. He was a murderer. I knew there was something wrong with him.
Fortunately for us, being a murderer was not his profession. And about the elephant.
While you were busy, I've dealt with it. No thanks to you. I asked you to solve this wretched problem, but you didn't.
I couldn't be in two places at once, Miss Gilden. I was catching your father's murderer. But how have you dealt with it?
A man agreed to take the elephant away. He came to me asking for permission to relocate it to his property, and I accepted.
Well, congratulations, I suppose. That is one less problem.
Actually, two, Mr. Holmes. I found my father's possessions that you can take with you and disappear.
I appreciate it, truly.
Well, someone has to do something. Take everything if you need to, and leave me be.
Take care of yourself, Miss Gilden.
Okay, so that is ending 1 with Mr. Swift arrested and Goliath free. Let's load the save file, the manual save. And let's confront him again and choose the other option, Mr. Swift. So we're gonna skip to the dialogue we had before. They were at the part with the accusement. Yeah, go on the way, fine. It's kind of annoying because you can walk into them, but they will not always go to the side. Okay, let's go to him, go through all the dialogue again. But I don't think this guy did it. Okay.
You are guilty, Mr. Swift. Killing Theodore Gilden was a test.
Okay, then we have to go to all the 3 options again.
You were there when Theodore Gilden died.
Nonsense.
Your dart uses strychnine to kill rodents at the site, is that... Let me tell you a story. A man spent...
Now we choose the other one, free Goliath, and have the elephants executed.
Theodore Gilden was a ruthless man. A slave of his own impulses. He hurt everyone around him, including his own daughter and pet. So you had to kill him. You considered every possibility, and the most feasible was to get rid of the biggest bully on the island. You felt neither pride nor pleasure, and you won't repeat your crime thanks to your non-impulsive nature. I do not believe you should be in prison.
I knew you'd come to your senses. It was never mine.
But you should abandon your research and flee. That is your punishment.
But, young man, I'm begging you. My hands were already on the tomb. I can't.
Of course you can. Otherwise, your next exhibition will be inside a cold cell.
This is an extremely difficult situation. But I see I have no choice.
Oh, spare the self-pity. Think of Goliath. It is innocent, but it will be executed as the authorities need a guilty party. Leave Cordona.
Okay, let's see what happens, fortunately. Ah, there's the newspaper. The elephant being killed and Arthur is free. What? You're gonna hang? Creature is like massive. Like one of the cruelest. But yeah, that's not the ending. I'm gonna choose to continue the story.
Is it over? Is it finally dead?
Goliath has been executed, yes. A barbaric and crude event that your ears shouldn't hear about.
Rather a remarkable achievement of justice. Just what I was expecting. Punitive and inevitable.
It can't be undone, so why talk about it?
Well, you can't undo the past either. But you yourself keep holding on to that. Speaking of which, I have prepared some of my father's belongings. I am more than happy to give them to you as a reward. Goodbye, Mr. Holmes.
That's more than enough, thank you, and farewell, Miss Gilden.
Okay, let's load. Let's go talk to Imogen, so Gilden's daughter. Because that's give you the option of either saving Goliath or having him killed, executed as well, but then no culprit is being accused, and then Imogen will have a different reaction to you. To with Sherlock, so we're gonna show that one first of two. But then again, to have the trophy unlocked, you have to save the elephants and not have him killed.
You were right about Goliath. Everyone confirmed your opinion. They all agree that the beast is vicious. The animal wielded 2 tons of rage, and Mr. Gilden regrettably didn't stand a chance. The mating season only served to amplify its temper.
Oh, spare me. That's a little too much detail, thank you. What is the point of this conclusion? How do you plan to use your findings?
Okay, let's... Oh, we can choose right away. Let's choose the first one. Send Goliath to the execution.
Well, I see no other option but to get rid of the elephant. So you can, without any doubt...
Execute it? Oh, what a relief! No more stench, no more fear. But you seem hesitant.
Well, I was just thinking, do you really want to punish an animal that doesn't understand its guilt? It didn't kill your father as an act of revenge.
That cursed elephant tore my family apart. I demand retribution. I have the right to avenge my father's death.
As you wish, you are now its owner. I must only tell you that such an act cannot be undone.
I only wish to sleep in peace, with the knowledge that that beast can't return.
It's gonna be the same cutscenes as you saw in the other ones. For having the elephant executed.
Is it over? Is it finally dead?
Goliath has been executed, yes. A barbaric and crude event that your ears shouldn't hear about.
Rather a remarkable achievement of justice. Just what I was expecting.
This is the same text. She reacts the same when Goliath gets killed, gets executed. So let's talk to her again and then say to free Goliath. Yeah, run back to the mansion. She'll notice the game has certain points where you will be transported back. You cannot really change that. It's okay, just chooses the closest.
You were right about Goliath. Everyone confirmed your opinion. They all agree that...
Okay, let's save Goliath.
Miss Gilden, I know how much you dislike the elephant.
Rather more than dislike. I wish I could have done more to that wretch than just speak of it.
But it's innocent. Goliath did not intend to kill your father. It was provoked, scared, and in mating season. Your father took Goliath's normal state for granted, and in doing so made a mistake that caused the elephant to be aggressive.
Stop it! I already know the answer. I don't need your moral perspective on this situation. I don't know why you wasted your time. I actually did more than you.
Which involved what, Miss Gilden?
A man with a big wallet made an offer to take the elephant away. I accepted it. I was so naive, thinking that it was me who was so helpless. But you are useless too.
I am glad that the elephant is no longer of your concern, but I need to make sure.
I don't care, and I don't want to listen. I thought you wouldn't turn...
Why's that? Well, I suppose it's the English way to leave without saying goodbye, but I never planned to abandon you.
Because you brought the filthy beast here. Because you did nothing to ensure its proper punishment. I had to do everything, not you.
I was piecing together your father's murder.
There was nothing to piece together. I told you, it was Goliath. I never asked you to talk with anyone. I asked you to find the stupid animal.
Even if my efforts are invisible, that does not mean that I did nothing.
I don't have the strength to argue. These are my father's belongings. They're about your mother. Take them all and leave me be.
I won't waste your time any longer.
Okay, so let's load it again. And we're gonna go to the third one, which is the second culprit. In the case that it's Imogen's fiance did it. Provoked the elephant. So let's go back to the Yacht club. Yeah, we're gonna save before we're talking to him, because otherwise we have to. So now the first one we could do with arresting him, then with freeing him, and
Did it feel good killing Theodore Gilden after the humiliation and threats?
What? I thought you were blaming Goliath for that.
No, I think you killed Theodore Gilden. Goliath is, unfortunately, a victim of circumstance.
I'm far better than to kill Gilden. Believe me.
I can understand why you killed Mr. Gilden. He saw you with his daughter. He checked up on you, yachtsman, smuggler, and a woman. He went so far as to hire some thugs to attack you. Theodore knew your weakness, your career. He forced you into a corner. You're a survivor. You were prepared for the worst, but Theodore surpassed even your worst-case scenario. So you responded accordingly.
I've earned everything myself. Every victory, every trophy, every mangir. I achieved all of it without murder. I don't need to kill in order to win.
And you weren't afraid that he would reveal your secret to the owner of the yacht club or your competitors?
I can control my fear. Trust me, I wouldn't have become a professional athlete otherwise.
You see, I managed to capture the elephant. Goliath had a dart stuck in his hide, similar to the ones that you use to kill rodents. My guess is that you used Goliath. A dart can kill a mouse or human, but for an elephant, it's not enough. Strychnine is a powerful stimulant and convulsant. Once the drug was in the bloodstream, Goliath became extremely agitated and so blinded by the flow of energy that he killed his owner.
And my dart is responsible for that. I'd rather use my hands.
Yes, there would have been fewer variables, but after the attack on you, your condition didn't allow for a direct confrontation. So, you used what you had.
That's not what happened. Anyone might have the same set of darts as I do. They're not expensive.
But not everyone knew Theodore and had access to his property. You were at the crime scene at the precise moment when Gilden died.
I was not. I was visiting the doctor after the attack on me.
Ah, of course, where no one saw you. That's an inconvenience. But in any case, the person who was there met the rage of the elephant. One was struck by the gate with such impact that they were thrown into the shed. The knife fell out. The bruises on your elbow match the contour of the hole in the shed.
But I told you where my bruises came from.
And I heard you, but you didn't catch my words. A bosun's knife was found there, a very specific tool commonly used in your field.
That's only your assumption. I was never there. I mean, I was, but not when this happened.
Let's choose first the one. Free. You're free and blame Goliath, and then we end the game with arrest Paul and free Goliath.
In addition to the true murderer, I discovered many facts concerning Theodore Gilden. He was a ruthless, violent, impulsive, and egocentric man. He didn't care about you or his partners. His daughter openly disregards him despite shedding some tears. He was a hostile man, impossible to reason with. In fact, I can understand why you killed him. My only advice to you is to take Whirlpool and disappear.
You accuse me of such nonsense and then you ask me to leave. No. I have to start from scratch. I have to abandon Imogen.
That would be only a minor inconvenience. The facts are not in your favor. The police would likely disregard the words of a woman, particularly if she was wearing gentleman's clothing. Also, I would be likely to tell the police all that I know. There is nothing for you here anymore, only anxiety and hostility. Would you wish to live like that, or start anew, somewhere safer?
A scapegoat. I understand. I have no choice. I have to start over again.
The real scapegoat is the elephant. It'll be executed as the authorities need a guilty party. So don't look back. Good luck.
Yeah, this is gonna be the same cutscene again, because this is just the same and we cannot skip it. I tried.
Is it over? Is it finally dead?
Goliath has been executed, yes. A barbaric and crude event that your ears shouldn't hear about.
Rather a remarkable achievement of justice. Just what I was expecting. Punitive and inevitable.
It can't be undone, so why talk about it?
Well, you can't undo the past either. But you yourself keep holding on to that. Speaking of which, I have prepared some of my father's belongings. I am more than happy to...
But now we're gonna check out the sixth ending, at least the other end where we arrest Paul and 3 Goliaths. So you need to make sure to save Goliath if you want to receive the trophy, and then you can choose whether you have someone arrested for or not. Imogen will either be happy that a culprit has been arrested, or she will be angry that you didn't find the culprit and let the elephant be free. So yeah, this is gonna be the last ending. Afterwards, we can save the game.
Did it feel good killing Theodore Gilden after the humiliation and threats?
What? I thought you were blaming Goliath for that.
No, I think you killed Theodore Gilden. Goliath is, unfortunately, a victim of circumstance.
I'm far better than to kill Gilden. Believe me.
You see, I managed to capture the elephant. Goliath had a dart stuck in his hide. You were at the crime scene at the precise moment when Gilden died.
I was not.
I can understand why you killed Mr. Gilden. He saw you with his daughter. He checked up on you, yachtsman, smuggler, and a woman. He went so far as to hire some thugs to it.
Now we're gonna arrest him, free Goliath, and then we've seen all the different endings and the cutscene from when Goliath the elephant gets the blame is the same.
I revealed many truths and lies concerning Gilden. One banal fact is that he was a bitter and angry man who acted according to his own desires and impulses. Such people are dangerous, they are unpredictable, and value their own comfort more than anything and anyone. The same as you, Paul.
Are you out of your mind?
You're a gambler, smuggler, and actor. You indulge your self-importance. Such egocentricity and impulsivity is frightening. I won't allow you to play with someone else's life. You are under arrest.
Wait. At least tell Imogen. Tell her where I am.
I think she deserves a space without you. I've heard you can gamble on racing in prison, only it's rat racing. No yachts. Goodbye, Paul.
Why did you pick my Paul? Out of all the people on this island. Just when I needed someone I could rely on.
Believe me, I saved you. I found the true murderer. Would you really choose to live with the person who took your father's life?
You took away the pillar I was relying on. Paul was my only hope. You've destroyed it.
It was Paul who destroyed it, not me. I was merely the fact-checker who discovered the real culprit. And now about that elephant.
Oh yes, Goliath. You did nothing about it. I had to deal with it. Fortunately, there was a real man wanting to help me. He agreed to buy Goliath and relocate him to his property.
I suppose I must congratulate you.
I'd rather you leave. But first, here are my father's belongings. Some of them have information about your mother. Take them and leave me be.
I appreciate it, Miss Gilden. I assure you, I only wanted to find the true perpetrator.
Perhaps. Or perhaps you found a convenient scapegoat. Goodbye.
I truly hope you meet more honest people in the future. Take care.
Okay, so this was the main story case, A Gilden Cage. Yeah, there is not really wrong or good end. Just choose the ending you prefer. We will examine what Theodore Gilden had from Sherlock letter and...
My mother always wore this around her neck until one day it disappeared. I was wondering where it went. She said it was a birthday present from a good friend.
A letter from Violet to Theodore Gilden. My dear Theodore, you know I value our friendship more than most other bonds. We share the same restless soul, and your acceptance and support in trying times has been blessing. I'm endlessly grateful for the turn of fate that saw Sigurd and I join the same expedition as you. Changed my life better. But nevertheless, I am blind nor a hypocrite. I know that your feelings towards me have deepened. Forgive me, Theodore, but I do not feel as you do. I must spare you the pain of one-sided love before it's too late. Please see enclosed the necklace you so thoughtfully gifted in remembrance of our adventure together. I cannot in good conscience continue to wear it. I know this letter will cause you such hurt, and for that I but apologize deeply. Yet my heart is with Sigurd, who is still unaware of your desires. If this is the end of a friendship, I will understand, but I truly hope we can continue to share the conversation, collaborations, and kindnesses that have brought me such joy all these years. Respectfully, Violet.
I just had another glimpse of a memory, John. It's fuzzy, but I'm sure it happened somewhere in the manor.
Finally moving forward. Shall we go?
So yeah, this was it. Next time we're gonna explore Violet's room. Thank you for watching, wish you all well, and you can follow me on YouTube where you can see all the other stories, and Twitch, mostly YouTube. Thank you for watching, wish you all well, see you in the next video.